Okay, guys, say hello, Bingo. Say hello to the camera. Pretty much just crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's before I get ready for bed. But today was our rest day, and it's Sunday, so works pretty perfectly. But I guess I probably woke up around 11, ate my first 2 meals of the day. So had my banana, my breakfast sandwiches, my yogurt. That's the thing that sucks about weekends, or for me at least, is, it's like I usually try and cram in as much sleep as I can. And that's what makes the weekdays so easy, is I'm up early, And so it's like at like 8 o'clock I can have my banana and yogurt. At 11 o'clock I can have my sandwiches. At 2 o'clock I can have my burrito. And then at like 5 o'clock, I eat my 4 rice cakes. And then I get home from the gym at like, usually 7 to 8 o'clock. And I eat my final meal and drink a protein shake with it. And it's like, boom, I don't feel like dinner sometimes is kind of hard to get down. But I think for me, the hardest part about dinner is like, I guess what I'm trying to think and what I'm trying to say is it's like, when I was cutting, obviously this was probably a huge mistake I made while cutting. And I'm okay to admit that, I'm okay to admit like I probably shouldn't have played things out that way. Because it's like a lot of the times I get back from the gym and my pre-workout's worn off and I'm like, ooh, I'm ready for bed. And I would just be like, okay, so let's just go to bed, And I'd wake up kind of hungry, but I never struggled with, a lot of people talk about waking up in the middle of the night because they're so hungry. And I've been super hungry like a lot of times, and it never causes me to wake up in the middle of the night just like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. That never happened to me. That was never something I personally experienced per se. So, probably a lot of it due to luck, but also a lot of it due to maybe just a genetics thing. Some people genetically are more prone to experience symptoms like that, and some people are not prone to feeling such a way. So, I think it really just depends on the outliers of the situation. But yeah, it was never something I personally struggled with, Sorry, I'm trying to dial in all my supplements for the week. Never something I struggled with though. Like wasn't an issue for me. I never noticed, at least. And it never was an issue for me during wrestling. So, to each their own. But it was like, I'd get home from the gym and I'd be kind of hungry, but I'd be so tired, I would just be like, fuck it, let's just go to bed. And that's like a habit I had to break myself out of. Being with my new coach and bulking and everything is like, I get home from the gym a lot of times and I'm like, oh my God, I am fucking exhausted. I don't even want to eat a meal. I just want to edit my video and go to bed. But I have to be like, no, you need to eat that meal, because if you don't eat that meal, you're not going to grow. It's kind of just what I've engraved in my mind. Is it's like if I get home from the gym at fucking 10 o'clock because I got held back or wasn't able to get to the gym on as good of a time, it's like, that sucks, but I got to eat this meal, As much as I want to get to bed right now, I have got to eat this meal or I'm not going to grow. And that's, obviously not the simple, truth, not entirely true, but, calories in, calories out at the end of the day is going to help you grow nonetheless. So at the end of the day, it does hold some truth in it. It's not completely false. But, it's hard to say, guys. It is. It's definitely hard to say, and everyone's got their own opinions, but I do think, whenever you're working out, if you work out in the morning, I think a meal after your morning workout is very important. If you work out at night, I think you need to get a meal before you go to bed, and that's very important. And a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that. They'd be like, oh, you'd be fine. And I remember when I first started working out, I was a firm believer that you needed to get a freaking, I was a firm believer that if you didn't get like a I can't remember who even taught me it, but I was a firm believer that if you didn't get protein 30 minutes after your workout, you were fucking cooked. Your workout was a waste. And that's not the truth inherently. I mean, obviously you gotta enact the protein synthesis after your lift, but you have up to like 3 hours. But I do still, you know, I hit like I'm probably like right around like, you know, 30 minutes when I eat that meal and drink my protein shake. So I'd like to say I'm right around there. I'm right around track if that was a thing, but it's not. I remember watching this Jeff Nippard video where he was kind of like debunking a lot of fitness myths, and one of them he was talking about was the protein synthesis myth, and it was like you actually have like 3 hours before you need to get that meal in, you know, before your workout's a waste, before you're not really able to maximize your protein synthesis. But even if you get a meal afterwards, you're still going to get, you know, good enough protein synthesis. But obviously, if you're not eating, can't expect to grow. You know, you can't go to the gym and hit a 2-hour chest and back workout, come home, not eat anything, not drink anything, not take any supplements, and just go to bed, wake up the next day, skip your breakfast, eat fast food for lunch, have a few snacks, go to the gym, hit legs, come home, nah, I'm not hungry, go to bed. It's like, you're not going to be, you know, obviously you're going to put on some muscle, you know, especially if you're new to the gym. But you can only do that for so long, you know, it only lasts for so long. And you really gotta, you know, you gotta push calories or else you're not gonna grow. And you know, sometimes it sucks, you know, not always is it gonna be the world's greatest weight. You're gonna put on a little bit of fat, obviously, reckon, you know, it's not gonna be perfect, you know, you're not gonna be able to stay in this perfectly lean state of vascularity and leanness and roundness, you know, you're gonna lose a bit of that. You're gonna lose a bit of your definition. You might lose a 6-pack, you know, might get a little bit of face fat. But at the end of the day, you gotta be okay with that if these are the goals that you're trying to, you know, chase after, sprint after, or the long walk, as I've been trying to kind of saying it here a little bit recently. What are you chewing on, Bingo? Oh, you found your bone, huh, sweetie? But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, you got to be okay with it. Like, I hate being a little chubby, you know, I don't like it. As a kid, I was always one of the chubby kids who was like always, you know, kind of pulling at his shirt, trying to make sure you couldn't really see my stomach fat, chubby face, you know, everyone made fun of me, whatever, you know, just built me to who I am. But it happens to a lot of people. So when I first started working out, that was my biggest insecurity, like trying to push food. Gain a little bit of weight was just like, oh my God, I'm fat. Oh my God, I'm fat again. But I just had to kind of like tell myself like it's all a part of the process, you know? And that's what kind of helps me be a little bit more okay with it, is just understanding like this is a part of my long-term goal, you know? Like it might suck now. Like right now, I might look at myself in the mirror sometimes and be like, I'm a chubby little fucking monkey. But sometimes, you know, I look in the mirror and I kind of have to like reinstate in myself and remind myself, like, I'm not that chubby, you know? I'm a little chubby, I'm a little water bloated, I've got a little bit of a gut, but honestly my gut's been getting a lot better. I feel like there for a little bit it was really bad, and then I started focusing on my gut health a little more, like taking some supplements to help with gut health and digestion, and taking certain digestion pills before eating like my meals, you know, because I've heard that helps, and it's been helping so far. I think it's been helping, and I think it's something that you should too prioritize if you're trying to really, Bingo, quit licking me, honey. If you're really trying to push calories in and gain weight, then I think you should really think and consider on some digestion supplements. I'll do another updated supplement list for you guys here soon, because it does help a lot, you know. I was really struggling, like obviously TMI, but like bowel movement wise and whatnot, just like so much food in, and I felt so bloated from it and I couldn't get it out. And then I started taking like digestion supplements before all of my meals, and then it was like 2 or 3 times a day, you know, and starting to feel a lot less bloated. And I just did this as of recent. I've started taking it probably like the last week, but it's worked really, really good. So I'm really happy with the decision, and I think a lot of people should consider it. And I wish I would have, you know, looked into it a little sooner. Hey, you can't lick my mic because then they're gonna hear your mouth and it's gonna sound weird, honey. But you know, really, I'm just gonna pop some of my supplements. Hey, and then I'm gonna go lay in bed, edit this video, hit the hay, wake up tomorrow, and repeat the week. Ow, your paws are sharp. And I shaved my body. I did finally shave all my limbs too, so that's nice. I just need to shave my face now before I go to bed. So that's a good reminder of that. But I love you guys all so much. Thank you for watching.